Good afternoon, everybody. We'll continue the tradition started by Professor Shaw, so I'll use this one. Thank you. I don't know where is Maruba, but thank you for inviting me. Thank you, the committee and all the professors. So, how many of you use dermatoscopy in your practice? Okay, so majority. And when you are using it, what do you use? Like, so you put the microscope on the lesion, then which algorithm or which formula do you use? How do you decide what to do? Any names? Okay. So there are many algorithms when you take a dermatoscope and put it on a lesion. Then you have to quickly decide, because you have only a few minutes or few seconds to decide what is the lesion. And at that time, if you use many of these formulas, some of them take too long, and you may not have time, or patient may not have time. So one of these algorithms, famous one, is this ABCD, but takes a long time to do it. Then another one, this is another method by Menzies from Australia. And then there are other 7-point checklists. So you can use any of them, but if you are seeing patients in clinic regularly, like most of you do, you don't have time to go through complicated algorithms. You have to just make a quick decision. So then, after learning from actually the inventors of dermoscopy in America, Dr. Alfred Koff, and professors like that, I worked with them. Then I developed my own method how to quickly look at a lesion and then basically decide what to do. So this method then, we call it a simple and practical method, where basically we are not trying to decide the lesion is malignant or lesion is benign. We are only trying to decide should we biopsy this lesion or not. And that's a simple thing to do. We will, as we go, we will learn. And basically, so the way I do it, you just have to memorize these 5 or 7 names. Once you memorize that, your course is done, you can go and practice. If you see any of these patterns on dermatoscope, you quickly look at them, you say, okay, none of these need a biopsy. So reticular, globular, homogeneous, and all these patterns, if you look at them, you do not need to do a biopsy. And then I'll show you examples. This is the most common example, which is a reticular pattern, where you just have little network and nothing else, benign, or no need to do biopsy. Then this is another common pattern called globular pattern, and again, no need to biopsy. And sometimes you can have a combination of this reticular and globular pattern, and obviously that is also no biopsy pattern. And at times you can have this homogeneous brown color, which could be in any of these nevi, but point here is benign. And you can have another homogeneous pattern in blue nevi, where the color is all blue. When we go to melanoma, another thing you won't see, but this is homogeneous blue, meaning blue all over. And then you can have variation of these patterns in so-called dysplastic nevi, but they are still benign. Here we have peripheral hyperpigmentation, or a hypopigmentation, or a central hyperpigmentation with little bit lighter network on the sides. But remember, these are all variations of patterns which do not need biopsy. Then central hypopigmentation, or sometimes, this is the most common pattern when new residents start with me, or when I was a resident. This is the scary pattern. You see something patchy and you think melanoma, but it's not melanoma. It's a common pattern of so-called dysplastic nevi, where you have patchy network all around the lesion, you still no need to biopsy. And then another example of that, then you can have peripheral globules. This can happen in congenital nevi, in common nevi, or Spitz nevi. But initially, when you start doing dermoscopy, those globules scare you, like, oh, there are globules, so it's bad, but it's not bad. It's just another benign pattern or no biopsy pattern which has globules. And then some non-melanocytic lesions where you have these comedones, white or black comedone or cysts. Another pattern where we call it fissures or brain-like pattern, which are usually seborrheic keratosis. And then another example of Melia-like cyst or comedone in a seborrheic keratosis lesion, which is still a benign pattern. Now, here, the pattern obviously is a little bit irregular. This will be questionable, should we biopsy or not, but this is irregular borders. And another, let me go back, that was a little lentigo pattern, but it will be difficult at this level to diagnose. I'm going to skip. Another pattern where you have, we'll call it mouth apron border of lentigo or flat seborrheic keratosis. And vascular lesion, I don't have Kaposi sarcoma, but vascular patterns are benign, you can quickly recognize them. Another example of vascular pattern. And this is a classic pattern of a dermatofibroma. Usually they are clinically not a problem, but if you want to look at them, you will have a central scar or hypopigmentation with some network around it, usually always dermatofibroma. And then another example of dermatofibroma. And then we quickly go to a few benign patterns on hand and feet or acral sites, we call them. I have also noticed, like many of us or many dermatologists, they get scared if you have a mole on hand or feet. Mother, parents, dermatologists, everybody gets scared, oh, mole on the hand and feet, so let's remove it. Most of them are benign, almost all of them are benign. But you can easily tell if you see lesions with like very thin lesion, lines like that, which that's a benign pattern. And we will now quickly move to patterns where we do biopsies. So, if you want to memorize this, you can memorize this, or you can memorize the previous one. Just you have to memorize one half. If you see any of these patterns, you will biopsy, and these are different than previous patterns which we found. So, if you obviously see multiple colors, then that's a bad pattern and you will biopsy. Sorry, it's going, I'm mixing up. So here, this is one of the lesions from pattern where you will biopsy, where you will call them strawberry vessels or comma-shaped vessels, usually seen in actinic keratosis or solar keratosis or SCC. And again, example of these little dotted blood vessels, which if the lesion is very thick and you put a dermatoscope, you won't be able to tell it is actinic keratosis or squamous cell carcinoma. But on the surface, you will see these scale and dotted vessels. And then patterns where you have obviously basal cell can have many patterns, but these multiple ovoid globules. Another example of these ovoid black globules or maple leaf-like pattern, we call it in basal cell. And another pattern of spoke wheel pattern of basal cell, where you see several little wheels of pigmentation. Obviously, we will biopsy. Another one where it's hard to tell in this bottom area, it's melanocytic or not, but on the edge we can tell it is a basal cell. But as I said earlier, for me, in the approach we developed, it doesn't matter if it's melanoma or basal cell as long as you biopsy. So if you can't decide which one, but if you still biopsy, so we are okay, patient is okay. Another example of a irregular pigmented lesion, which could be melanocytic or could be basal cell, but as long as you biopsy, we will be okay. So then ulceration obviously is a bad sign on clinically or under microscopy, so you will biopsy. And then this is if you have gray-white wear. What is happening here is you have a melanocytic lesion which is brown. Then on the top you have a blue and then you have a white. So this is a sign the lesion has regressed, meaning some of the nest or epidermal nest they have gone into the dermis, and that's what producing this scar. Mixture of scar, inflammation and pigmentation in the dermis is producing this color. Obviously if you see that, you will biopsy it. And sometimes this is a difficult lesion, but the pigment network itself is irregular. Why is it irregular? It's thick and it's smudged, and on the surface it will be different. So thick network or irregular pigment network, again a problem. And then here we have irregular pigmentation, obviously light brown, dark brown. If you have many colors like this, full biopsy. And again, multiple colors I'm talking here. We can count. You have light brown, dark brown, black, gray, blue. So many colors obviously is bad. And regression we were talking earlier. And then if you have this irregular peripheral globule or peripheral streaks, usually the network at the end, these are too thick and too long and projecting outwards. They should not be like that in a benign lesion, so this will lead to biopsy. And again, multiple irregular globules. We showed symmetrical globules before. Here we have globules there, no globules there. If you see globules like that, obviously good biopsy. Now, we looked at two benign lesions on the feet or hand before, which were benign acral pattern. Now we are going to malignant acral pattern. Just remember, if you see the line is this thick in the middle, then consider this is a bad pattern and you will biopsy. And we call it a ridge pattern. Again here, the line in the middle is too thick. If it was a benign one, they want me to stick it. And if you don't know, let's say we went through the benign patterns and then not benign patterns, but there will be patterns where you can decide where this or this. So if you don't know, you still will biopsy. So as you are a first year resident or you are a first day resident, everything looks unknown to you. So you will biopsy a lot of them. But as you mature and as you get experience, you will have very few of unknown patterns. Most of the time you will be have very few of these lesions on the side. So I have few more slides just to explain the acral nevi a little bit more. Just an example. So if the lesion is coming out from here, those are benign ones, but if they're coming from that red part around the strata, that makes a big track, those are the ridge, that is usually the malignant pattern. So we went through some of these benign patterns before. So remember, this is a furrow which is thinner and it's benign or no biopsy. Again, another example of a benign fibrillar or benign furrow-like pattern on acral sites. And another example where you can have network-like pattern also on feet, but this will be usually at the edge where bottom meets the top, but still benign pattern. And some other examples of benign patterns on acral sites. Now, as we go to other side, this clearly, that pattern clearly has big, thick, those ridges, and it's a malignant pattern. Again, benign, and many other patterns of benign or not benign lesion there. Here, this is my case where if you see, very few lines are available, but whatever you see, those are very thick there. So I did biopsy, it was a melanoma. Here is a benign pattern.